So there you are, thinking you're the nicest guy on earth, and all other guys are full of shit. Well, because they smoke, cheat, have a badass motorbike and all, and you're very nice to girls. You buy them drinks, tell them they're beautiful, and you like cats, like the girls do. But then you feel like all the hot girls are into the bad boys, and you're blaming the girls saying you're full piece of shit cause picking bad boy instead of a nice guy like me. Guess what? Being a nice guy actually has bad consequences, and today I'll show you several free examples of a nice guy who are not so nice. Alright, here we have 50 women reveal their worst experiences with nice guys. It's from boardpanda.com. The first experience is I went to a club in New York and a guy at the bar offered to me to buy a drink. I politely declined. He insisted again and I knew it was a scam to get me to hang out with him. Before I could order my drink for myself, he buys both of us around, which was, the nice thing to do. I immediately got weird vibes from him and didn't think I owed him anything for the beer and shot. I made up an excuse to get away from him. I didn't want to leave the club because I spent a hefty cover, so I got my friend to come save me. My friend was 30 minutes away, so this guy kept following me around the club, calling me a bitch for not being interested in his little game. I told the bouncers, and they didn't really care about the situation and just brushed it off. I was so furious with this guy, I stuck my finger down my throat and threw up all over him and said, "Here's your drink back. Now leave me the fuck alone. Bye, you fucking nerd." So you see, this is a common thing a nice guy would do, He would buy the girl a drink, give him something, but he would expect something in return from the girl. Like, maybe an attention, or expect the girl to sleep with him, or something like that. If you're a healthy, integrated male, and you're not a nice guy, you wouldn't expect anything when you give something. In fact, you won't have to give anything to receive anything. People will just give you. Let's just take example of a hot woman walking down in a building or something. Just because she's hot, then she would receive a lot of attention from the other guys. To give and expect something in return is a manipulative move that a lot of nice guys do. But here we have the second one. A lot of the ones in this thread are worse, but here's mine. I was friends with this guy for a couple of years, but was never interested in dating him. I was fairly certain he was aware of that, and since he never said or did anything that seemed to me like he was interested in me either, I assumed we were legitimately friends. He never asked me out, he never made any comment even suggesting he wanted anything more. We were fairly close and had a lot of mutual friends. I never thought anything else was going on. So apparently this was not the case. But a couple days after I got a new boyfriend, I updated my relationship status on Facebook. My friend calls me within like 2 minutes of this update and immediately starts shouting at me, demanding to know why he wasn't good enough for me and why my boyfriend was so much better than him. I tried to get him to calm down, but he just kept yelling about he was a nice guy and how he had always been nice to me. Why didn't I ever give him a chance? So this is, a fair tactic of what nice guys do. They claim they're the nice guys, the nicest of the all nicest guys on the world. But they go and shout at people that what the girl did was wrong. So I calmly tried to explain to him that I never got any signals from him and I didn't think I ever did anything to lead him on or anything. And he shouted that he's such a nice guy and he doesn't deserve to be friend-zoned like this. See, he made it again. He claimed he's a nice guy, doesn't deserve to be friend-zoned like this. I made one final attempt to salvage this conversation and tried to explain that I was sorry if he felt deceived. But it also really hurt my feelings that I thought he legitimately valued me as a person and wanted to be my friend, but now he's just mad I won't sleep with him. He's flat out screamed at me, "Fuck you, you're just a cold bitch, I bet your boyfriend's an asshole anyway." So there he is. He tries to be nice from time to time for 2 years, he tried to be nice to the girl for 2 years, but he never made it clear and direct to the girl. And when the girl got a boyfriend, he shows the part of where he was not so nice. He screamed, "Fuck you, you're just a cold bitch, I bet your boyfriend's an asshole anyway." So the thing about nice guys is, they're not honest, they're manipulative. They expect the girl to like him, even they're just friends. Wouldn't it be just easier if you tell her how you feel about her? Girls are not psychics, they can't read you. Alright, at number 3, this is an interesting story about how nice guy instantly became not nice. Right, see, a random guy held my crutches for me as I walked down some stairs at uni. He seemed nice and joked about how he once broke a foot. It'll get better, etc, etc. We get to the bottom and he asked if we could get some coffee. I thanked him, but tell him I'm seeing someone, so he just drops my crutches on the floor and walks away. They instantly become not nice if they see that the girl is not going to give him what he expects. Alright, next on the list. My ex-boyfriend stalked me for months after we broke up, showing up at my work, my home, and calling, texting, emailing non-stop. But interestingly enough, this story isn't about him. It's about when I finally started dating again. So it's not about his ex, but another guy he met on Bumble. He insisted on picking me up, but I politely declined. I was worried about my ex seeing a guy picking me up. On the date, he wouldn't let it go that I wouldn't let him pick up, saying he offered to be nice, but some girls just don't appreciate that. Then things got weird. And the second thing, he asked what part of city I live in, which is a standard question, but then started asking specifics. How many people I live with, what their names are, type of house, where my room is located. Huge red flags. I politely changed the subject. We were talking about music and he mentioned his favorite local band. I mentioned in passing that I briefly dated the frontman 2 years ago. A little after that, he went to the bathroom and I was texting my friend about how the day was going. He got back to the table and accused me of texting the frontman. He then went on a light-hearted rant about how girls can appreciate what's good in front of them. Again, he's using his guilt trip powers to make the girl feel bad, guilty, so that she would sleep with him. Right next, I got to use the bathroom just as the waitress was coming with the check. I didn't see that. When I got back, he accused me of pulling a move to avoid the check. I offered to pay, but he said he already did and was just poking fun. This is not a concept of passive-aggressive, which you didn't be directly aggressive, but in a way you're being aggressive indirectly. At the end of the day, he again insisted on taking me home. I declined politely and he said, "Look, if you don't want to see me again, that's all you have to say. I don't know why girls can just be upfront." So then I got home, checked all the damn logs, because I was now scared of two men. He texted to ask me out again, and when I said I didn't feel any chemistry, the fucking floodgates opened. I'll give you the highlights. Piece of shit, scammer, bitch, leading man on, I'm a good guy, your dress was super short, you had your guard up because your ex. Admit it. We think nice guys are just very, very nice guys. They don't have any trouble, but when the conflict arises, they usually bottle up your emotions from scenarios to scenarios until this happened, until one moment when he cannot take it anymore. Then the floodgates open and he will explode and becoming very aggressive and use curse words. Alright, next on the list we have number 19. And the guy on the train talked to me randomly about stuff. That was fine. I like talking to strangers and chatted with him for a while. He was creepy in the way he kept looking at my breasts and I pretended not to notice. I know some guys are bad at not looking, but it was enough to put me on edge. He made a comment about how he was a very good person and also said that he was lonely. I took this as my cue to show him my wedding ring and mentioned I was married. He then kindly apologized for the misunderstanding and told me to have a nice day. Oh, okay, it's a plot twist. Haha, no, this complete stranger told me that he will treat me better than my husband would. That I should come home with him so he could show me how nice he was. Oh, that was so cringe. Yeah, red flags, totally red flags. One major advantage of no longer being a young sexy 20-something woman is that I don't get anywhere near as much harassment. I was very good looking women back then and it just never stopped. And most of the worst creeps claim they were just nice. This is just the shortest story. You see how these creeps always claiming they're nice, claiming they're better than other people, claiming they are not like other men. But they're all just manipulative and they just want to get into your pants. That's all. Right, another interesting story is number 23. Now this is about an old man, okay? Luckily I haven't had to deal with anything too terrible, but there was this guy last year that got on westbound bus a little after I did. And then we got off at the same stop and waited together for the northbound bus. He was nice, he was friendly, he took an interest in the classes I was taking. I was kind of viewed him as the kind of grandfatherly type of man since he was in his 60s or 70s. Oh, she's in her late 20s for reference. One night, I had to go to the store that's right by that bus stop we waited together at. I got stuck behind someone who took a while in line, so I was rushing to make the bus. Because even though it's a time point where they're supposed to stop and wait if they're ahead of schedule, some of the drivers don't. I'm running up, and the driver did actually wait like he was supposed to. He was taking a smoke break out by the stop and said, "Don't worry, the old guy let me know you're coming." Awesome, super nice, right? Outgoing old guy says pretty much the same thing. He let the driver know I'll be out shortly, and the driver decided to take a smoke break while they waited. Then the old guy passed me a note, told me to read it when I got home. It said, "Does that deserve a kiss someday?" I know that's not the worst thing in the world, but I started taking a later bus. It meant I didn't get home until about 9, but I didn't have to deal with him anymore. So this is like one of the shitty things women have to deal all the time. Right, next, number 29. Had what I thought was a friend who lived in my building, did normal friend things, walked to class together, had movie nights, etc. Had a movie night one night while my roommate was away and got a super weird vibe from him. Told him I forgot I needed to get up early and asked him to leave earlier than planned. I have anxiety, so I couldn't sleep and decided to spend the night deep cleaning my apartment, while muttering sorry to my neighbors for vacuuming at 1 a.m. Found he had hidden sinks all over my house. My only guess was so he had an excuse to come back, like in Seinfeld. Maybe, I don't know, but it was a whole box of sinks. I went to put them outside in the hall and text him it was out there and discovered he had turned the lock off on my door. It was set up like the inside of the door had a button you could press so you didn't get locked out bringing out the trash. I basically stopped talking to him anymore, and one day I was bringing in groceries which he normally asked to help with. And instead, he punched me in the ass cheek so hard, I almost fell down and dropped everything. See, this is another nice guy move, which he tries to be manipulative. He hides his things in the girl's house so that he could use it as a reason to come back, saying he lost some things in the house. So these are the tricks that people use always. Not just nice guys, many people just use them, but it shows you're a nice guy because you're not being true to yourself. You don't think that you have a valid reason to visit the girl again. You think you need a valid reason, like you lost something at the house, but you don't think you are self-worthy, and that comes at a very quite cost that she's going to see you as a low value person. If you know that you are worth it, you wouldn't need these excuses. You just set up a date with her and she'll accept it. So next, on number 31. Long story. So I was young and started a new part-time job. One of the guys who worked there took an interest in me. He was cute but very shy and quiet. We started talking and after a few months had our first date. We dated for roughly 2 months before we slept together, which is her first time. He came over the next day and said he was getting back together with his ex, so we couldn't see each other anymore. Okay, he said our time together was mainly about sex, so he shouldn't be a big deal and we still work together. WTF. Turns out he had broken up with his ex the day of or before our first date. The creepiest part is that he had worked at the job for months before I did and never mentioned to anyone that he had a girlfriend. He had intended to cheat or replace her before he even had someone in mind. Now he's been single forever and still posts on Facebook about how women don't appreciate him or overlook him despite all he has to offer. He has had a sexual harassment scandal at every job he's worked at that I'm aware of. And this is not the thing a nice guy do. He compartmentalizes his knowledge. What I mean by this is, he didn't tell anyone in his workplace that he has a girlfriend. So technically, nobody will know he is cheating. But the truth is, like in the story said, he just broke up. So he was meeting with her while he was still having his girlfriend. But he didn't say to her that he has a girlfriend. Why? Because he doesn't want her to know that he is cheating. And that's what nice guys do. They lie, they be dishonest. They don't show their true self. Alright, next on number 42. Followed him back to my dorm from class and invited himself to get lunch with me. When I tried to divert to a dining hall so he wouldn't know where I lived. Constantly berated me for not making enough eye contact with him the whole time. I was desperately looking around hoping I'd spot someone I knew to save time. Would constantly message me and make up stupid pet names for me and plan dates that I turned down every time. I eventually had to threaten going to the police to get him to leave me alone and had to let the professor of the class we were in together know so we wouldn't be assigned to any group projects together. Then another time I had a guy try to pull the "I have cancer" card to get me to PT date him. I'm sorry but no. I also had a lot of male friends totally disappear on me when I got married. Friends I routinely interact with on Facebook and such and considered actual friends just straight up unfriended me as soon as my relationship status changed to married. That one stung a bit because I thought we were actually friends, but it turned out they were just waiting around for something that was never going to happen. And see, this is why the reason nice guys always get friend zoned. They want to be friends first with the girl, and they try to be as close as possible with all the excuses they can come up with. I have cancer, blah blah blah. I leave things at your house, blah blah blah. Until one day the girl actually married another person, or officially declared her relationship with someone else. Then the nice guy would come and explode and get angry all over about it. Okay, last story, number 49. Dude I dated for a while always complained when we first started going out about how girls always screwed him over. Nice guys finished last etc etc. He told me his stories about I felt so sorry for him. After a few months together, he turned out to be the most possessive, irrational person I've ever encountered. I couldn't hang out with my friends, not even girlfriends. He even flipped on me for hanging out with my brother and giving him a hug. WTF. I finally dumped him when I got my first teeny tiny tattoo, and he's shit shamed me for a few days straight. He told me how if I chose to be pierced and date the person, I had plugs and nose piercings when he met me, that I was choosing a promiscuous life, and he finds that to be the most unattractive thing in the world. Yeah, okay buddy, bye bye. 2 years later, he still shows up to my places of work. He showed up at my current job 2 days after I started working there. So you see, this is how also nice guy uses pity and guilt trip to get together with the girl he wanted. But then after he got the girl, he started being aggressive. If not aggressive, he would be passive aggressive. Like in this story, he didn't let her to hang out with her friends, not even girlfriends. Like, are you really treating the girl like your possession, like literally a property? And so that's the problem of nice guys. So alright guys, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I hope you understand how the paradigm of nice guy is, what actually it means to be a nice guy, and how it's not good for you or anyone, and how they are not exactly nice to anyone. They're just being manipulative, they're just hiding their own true self, so that people would seeing him that he's a great person, he's a nice person. But deep inside, we all know that he's not a nice person, and that's why he got friendzoned. That's why nobody likes him in the end. And that's why people always use pity and guilt trips to make him feel nice. So always be aware of the tricks. Sometimes we do the tricks that we are not realizing we are doing, but by being more mindful, we can actually overcome this problem. So be more mindful about your actions. Maybe you did some manipulative tricks. Maybe you buy girls some drinks and you expect for them to go out with you or something. Always be aware of that. And until then, take care and be a fucking rock.